With a little over a year to the 2023 general elections, politics is taking center stage in Lagos and across the country. The state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is looking to ensure that he completes his promises to the Lagos state residents by consolidating on all the promises he made during campaign and achieving his projects in good time. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of This is Lagos. Members of the federal and state legislative arms of government alongside the state executive are gathered in Lagos in their different cultural attires to discuss issues and areas of adjustments, especially ahead of the 2023 elections.
We should come together more than before to see how we can, put heads together to solve the problems, the challenges that we face in life concerning the people that we represent, the people that we are governing. Because without these people, there will be government. And so far we are in government today. Whatever we can do, we try our best.
For this year's team, which I see as a welcome development, knowing fully well that the election is fast approaching, and also Lagos State, we are looking for the #1 seat in the country. This team cannot come at a better time like this. And I can assure you, by the time those who want to do justice to this particular topic will have finished, we will have been able to evaluate ourselves as regard where we are, where we should be, and where we are going to.
Those gathered call for the politically elected personalities to compare notes and assign responsibilities in order to prevent excesses in the use of state resources.
Distinguished participants, as we are all aware, another election circles in Nigeria. The 2023 general election is fast approaching, and the time to begin strategic planning for a successful 2023 is now. It is in this light of the above, the theme for this Parley mobilizes citizens as a social capital towards 2023 general elections. It has been deliberately and carefully crafted for this Parley. Therefore, in the next 48 hours, we shall excessively be engaging in a discourse centered on the theme. Also, there shall be presentations by a number of ministries and agencies such as Ministry of Agric, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Housing, Office of Innovation and Technology, also Civic Engagement, Lagos State Resident Registration Agency, and Lagos State Health Management Agency. These MDs shall be shedding light on the operations as relating to the attainment of sustainable socio-economic growth of Lagos State, especially on their projects and programs that impact our citizens. However, it is impressive to mention at this point that we have carefully selected erudite personalities with vast experience in governance to lead us into this discussion.
Political discussion like this has numerous potentials, benefits for levels of political participation. By discussing politics with peers, individuals are exposed to political stimuli and information that are likely to increase levels of political knowledge and awareness, as well to shape political attitudes, choice, and behaviors. However, the fact that Nigeria is planning another election after 23 years of democratic transition is a sign that democratic principles have been widely accepted in spite of the myriad of problems. Confronting the process, as the nation shows growing commitment to its stability, the time is right for civil society to prepare itself and the citizenry to demand power sharing in a truly participatory democracy. The first step in addressing this is for parties involved to educate themselves and the public about democratic principles and create an environment in which more people are contributing to development by registering to vote and are voting to prepare the ground for greater citizen voice in decision making. Increased pursuit of equity and equality. This is where social capital comes in, as it is thought to increase voters' turnout and improve political representation. But there is no way we discuss social capital in absence of political education.
Those gathered call for all politically elected personalities to compare notes and assign responsibilities in order to prevent excesses in the use of state resources.
Right now, things have changed. Totally. Things have changed. Especially in this climate that there is a lot of insecurity, kidnappings, and so on. What do we have to show when the election is coming? How do we want to mobilize? We've been falling short of the numbers for the past 3 elections. So how do we do? What do we do? And I think that's part of this sitting. Members of the National Assembly, and I'm quite sure to an extent the members of the State Assembly, have gone a great deal of length in trying to intervene in assisting and partnering with the executive. We are lawmakers, but now with our roads, we build hospitals, we build schools, we equip classrooms, do empowerment, just to help the government.
That will have a lot, to contribute. So therefore, I want to urge our members of the various legislature, to listen to our advice, the advice of the party, to get the party involved, and to report to the party.
For the governor, the efforts of successive administrations is a reference for those in office currently to put their all in the dispensation of their responsibilities, as a calls on citizens to play their part by electing their preferred contenders when election day arrives.
Sure, without any doubt, your administration have gone through a lot. In almost 2.5 years, we've had our own ups and downs as a government. We've had our own challenges as a people. We've had our own fair share of global economic meltdown, of national issues, more importantly, of all of the challenges around COVID-19 that affected all of us in one way or the other. Some of our members even had to pay the supreme price during the COVID. But we thank God and we're thankful that indeed we'll continue to push on and to do the things that our citizens have asked us to come and do, which is to be able to ensure that the safety of life and property and the quality of life is better imagined under our time and our tenure. And so we continue to drive our own economic agenda as a government using our 6 pillars of agenda, using our 6 pillars of economic agenda, which I'm sure all of us know as project teams. We know that as your government, we'll continue to ask ourselves difficult questions. How well have we solved the transportation problem? How well have we done in traffic management in Lagos? How well have we ensured that our citizens are being able to move from one part to the other? We cannot but let you know that in the last 2.5 years, we've touched over 1,000 projects in our schools. We've added almost 700 new classrooms. It's important for me to also acknowledge and thank our members from the National Assembly and the state who continue to collaborate with state government at ensuring that quality education in all of our schools are available. We'll continue to ensure all of our intervention in both primary and secondary school so that we can indeed set the future for these young lads that we have. I'm also happy to inform you that your state have just been given the license of 2 brand new universities, the University of Science and Technology and the University of Education, the very second in the country. And so what we're about is to ensure that all the strata of education, we can touch it. We're changing some of our secondary schools into comprehensive schools where skills acquisition, new ideas entrepreneurship can also be taught at secondary schools. These are some of the things we're doing, ensuring that they can have sporting activity. We're building schools now that must have comprehensive sporting activities there. A hall where they can run, they can jump, and they can become athletes, and people that we're proud of in future. Technology, we need to not remind us that technology becomes the driving force of the future. Your states, your government is completing 3,000 kilometers of fiber technology in Lagos, which we call the metropolitan fiber optics. This will make sure that there's fiber, in almost every nook and cranny of the city. We'll ensure that Lagos, which continues to receive the highest foreign direct investment into this country, using technology as a strong enabler, continues to do so. And that's why we're making all of those investments to make sure that technology, is accessible, is affordable, and is achievable. We know that Lagos is the foreign destination #1 investment in Africa, and it continues to remain so. And so we've seen technology as a strong enabler, even with our government. With our smart city, safe city initiatives, we're installing CCTV camera, we're ensuring that we have high definition cameras on our traffic management so that we can use technology, to drive security. We can use technology in our schools, in our hospitals, and we can also ensure that technology is available at home. We'll continue to make Lagos a resilient, a sustainable city that all of you will be truly, really proud of.
The Parley proceeds into a closed session as those present look to bear their minds on the current challenges the state faces. The Traditional Council in Lagos State will continue to collaborate with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, and other stakeholders to lead the campaign against drug and substance abuse. The Oba of Lagos, Riru Akiolu, who stated this while receiving the new NDLEA's commander for Lagos State, Kalis Olumona, at the Palace in Lagos Island, says it beckons on all stakeholders to provide rehabilitation centers at affordable rates for addicted users of illicit drugs.
The federal government should consider giving Lagos and other deserving states special status backed with all the materials required to put it in order. Like the #1 citizens of this state now, I pray for him every day. His task is so many and he's doing extremely well with the little resources available to him. That's why any little he does for the royal class or the chiefs, I always pray and appreciate it, because in the midst of competing interests, it is not only the chiefs or the Obas alone he has to cater for, but the federal government, and honestly I'm very serious, they should equip the NDLA, the other security forces, and provide for them all what is required. What you don't want others to do for you, don't do it. If you feel that nobody will know, God Almighty Allah will know, and try to prepare genuinely for your retirement period. God Almighty Allah will be with you.
Obarirwan, who has become an ambassador of the war against drugs, said parents and mentors of young ones must also serve to preserve the essence of virtue to prevent peer pressure and bad behavior.
That is why we are launching war against drug abuse. The value system has failed. The schools have failed. Parenting has failed. That's why we are coming back to the root to ask the royal fathers to help us to talk to parents, to talk to teachers, to talk to the youth themselves, to again realize that there is something called value. And the value is not money. The value is self-respect, self-dignity. maintenance of your father's name. You know, your name is better than money. But these days, we only think of money. There's nothing they think about except how to have fun, have money, enjoy themselves. But that is not how to move the nation forward. That is not how to move even the family forward. And what gives them that impetus is the abuse of these drugs. Any kind of drug they take it, to be high, to be able to do things they couldn't ordinarily do. We don't have any choice than to collaborate with every stakeholder. And the state government is a major stakeholder. We are about to talk with His Excellency, Mr. Governor, so that we can launch first this war against drug abuse. He has been helping us with the Security Trust Fund, and we see ask for more, so that we'll have more vehicles. If you look there, you see it, the Security Trust Fund. If we have more, we'll be able to penetrate Lagos, and we'll be able to go for sensitization, we'll be able to go for educative programs, we'll be able to intercept and stop drug flow and consumption.
You talked about statistics around drug arrests and quantum. Can you give us the figure again?
Well, I may not give you a correct figure now, but as at the time my general was marking his 1 year in office, we have seized over 30 million kilograms of drugs. We have arrested more than 300,000 suspects. We have also counseled so many. So since he came on board, it has been beat and beat and beat.
The Drugs Law Enforcement Command in Lagos noted that a lot of notorious hotspots for illicit drugs have been identified and raided. It's calling on the state government, community and religious leaders to assist the campaign against drugs. It's a long drive for the First Lady of Lagos State and other members of the state executive from the state secretariat in Alausa, but one which they say is absolutely necessary. This visit to Ekpe in Lagos is to create a safe space for young boys to feel included in the society and provide mentorship for those who are vulnerable to elements of the modern society.
I have a group, I have a team that works with me. We are all ex-court members, we are all ex-drug addicts. How do we get into it? How do we come out of it? A lot of them are into it, but they want a way out, and they don't know how to go out of it. So we just try to help them on how they can go out of it by sensitizing them. What they shouldn't do, now they are in, how they can step out. And I think that really worked good for them. It starts from willingness. You know, if you're really willing to come out of this, then discipline comes in it. If you are a court member, you cannot leave any court group with their property. I stepped out of secret court. I don't talk against my court. I talk against courtism as a whole. It's an holistic thing. You were a Vikings, you stepped out, you're not talking about Vikings, you're not calling those names. Yeah, you are in that way, they'll come after you. Now you have their properties with you, you are owing them. These are things you need to, they know what they can do. You cannot be in position of their, you can't go to their meetings or their area. If you pose as a threat to them, they want to come after you. What we do is, we gather all the information together, we try to bring everybody out. Why should we go through violence? Why must we kill ourselves? For colors? No, that is disorientation. I'm making understand, colors are meant for beautification, not for killing. So I think to a large extent, this has really worked on so many of them. Anytime we go out to speak, we always have them in numbers coming out to renounce. They've cried to us on several grounds and we've been available to talk to them all this while.
Children, family are always engrossed with their phones. Through that, we have seen series of cases whereby students and youth alike take whatever they can be able to take from the net and practicalize it in a negative form. We are here to preach to them, to admonish them, so that they will not fall victim of all these nefarious activities.
For the First Lady, there is a tendency to cater for the needs of the girl child while ignoring the challenges the boys face in their everyday life, and this can pose a danger to the girls along the line.
You have to balance it. You have the boys, you have the girls. The girls are going to end up with the boys. So what are we talking about? We definitely must make sure that we balance this equation properly. It's about time. There are quite a number of NGOs out there that have been talking about the boy child. But we need to add our voice to this clarion call out there. A lot of things are happening. They're painting the boy child bad. He's always bullying. He's a macho man. That's the only thing we hear about them. Okay, maybe one of them became president, governor, but the story and the boys are going to become men. And boys have emotions too. And so they need mentoring, they need follow-up, they need us to understand them.
You're aspiring to be something to contribute to the economy of your state. So everybody in this room is going to grow up and acquire a skill and contribute to the welfare of this state and Nigeria as a whole. So all the people that are on the front row here are professionals, and they're all working in their area of chosen career to add value to society. So your job when you grow up is to add value.
After hours of counseling and discussions, the young men in the room share some of the challenges they face, as I hope others like them can get similar opportunities to prepare them for the future.
Most of the male child now, they need someone who can encourage them. And based on the little understanding we have from this place and knowledge, we can go back there and explain everything to them and tell them what to do for them to achieve their aim in life.
Those present say if indeed the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, their well-being must be catered for so as to serve them well when the cycle of leadership comes around. Health insurance is part of what makes developed nations tick, as many of those countries rely on the funds by their residents and of course tourists to sustain their health infrastructure. The Lagos State government is keen to ensure that this is made possible in the state by improving the health insurance schemes and making it more affordable and accessible to all residents. Health insurance remains an elitist product for several Nigerians who struggle to get behind the logic of preemptive payment for unwanted medical expenses. The state government is keen to change this narrative with the introduction of more options and healthcare benefits to existing and new health insurance packages.
A lot of our people are in the diaspora and all of them have families here. So why would you not, if they can't pay for themselves here, why would you not make an opportunity available for their people in diaspora to be able to pay for their families here in Lagos so that they get access to quality?
Two facility projects have not been reached. This will seek and believe will help in making HSI a better hub of trade, investment and commerce, which will be devoid of environmental hazard and traffic congestion. Thank you very much.
Provide. In terms of getting to the facility, we have a call center. It's 24 hours. It's toll free. You don't have to, we don't charge you. We pick up the bill and you just call, even right in the hospital there, and you get a response. Your matter is sorted.
We're constantly expanding the tests available, x-rays, CT scans, eye service, dental service, surgery, family planning, antenatal care, immunization, treatment of emergencies, minor surgeries. So the plans are becoming more and more elaborate. And as the law says, we don't want anybody that is living or resident in Lagos to be without insurance. Because if you get sick and you go to the hospital and you don't have insurance, it's possible that you will receive a bill that you can't afford, and it can plunge you and your family into poverty. Whereas if you are protected by an insurance scheme, you just pay once a year what could be your medical bill for one day in a hospital now covers you for the entire year, and to receive all kinds of services, not just for you, but for your family and your children. So we advise Lagosians now that, every Lagosian should get an insurance. I have insurance, Mr. Governor has insurance, we all have insurance. You can empanel yourself and register at a private hospital or a public hospital. We're not making it compulsory. You choose what is nearest your house, and you just register at that hospital. You buy your insurance, you renew it every year, and you'll be amazed at the services that you're getting.
Health insurance is about making sure that people have access to health care, especially for the poor and vulnerable. And as has been said, it's not a luxury. It is something that every national, whether in Nigeria or anywhere else, should have that free access to healthcare.
The reason why we have the very poor health indices we have right now is that over 60% of Nigerians pay for care out of pocket. So the more people who join these schemes and can receive care whether they have money or not.
The First Lady, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, noted the importance for residents to embrace insurance.
I implore all residents of the state to take advantage of these affordable health plans and get a health insurance cover. As you purchase your car insurance, life insurance, fire and burglary insurance, remember that you need to insure your health and increase your life expectancy.
Stakeholders in the health sector say there are lots of benefits attached to some of the new coverages available.
When Lagos State first launched, the packages, and we looked at it and we saw that family planning was conspicuously absent. They only introduced, counseling. And in Nigeria, we have as much as 20% or more who needs family planning. They know they need family planning, but they don't have the means.
Tuberculosis is being taken care of under public health programs. But if there are other issues that the patient may have as a result, because sometimes people come very late, and in the healing process, their lungs will be scarred, what we call fibrosis. And so they will have lifelong challenge with, lung functions. So it is important that such things are attended to.
Health practitioners hope the increase in health insurance patronage will impact the capacity to consolidate on the country's medical sector. While the Lagos State Governor has not been seen in the public space for a while, the Silverbird Man of the Year for the year 2021, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has ensured that the mechanisms to keep the state running are all in place as the First Lady, other commissioners and state executive continue to ensure that the state is in good hands. That completes our episode for this week. Until next time, I am Wilson Amoni and this is Lagos.